Breaking news. The Philadelphia Eagles could be headed for some big changes this offseason, and the conversation starts right at the heart of what makes this team unique, the tush push, or as we like to call it, the brotherly shove. I'll give you all the details in a moment, but first make sure you've hit the like button if you've been an Eagles fan for over 20 years. It's great to see fans of all ages. If possible, comment something like this: "Go Eagles! My heart bleeds green and white." Now, I need to address an important topic with you. There's growing talk that this nearly unstoppable play, which has been a critical part of the Birds' short yardage dominance, may finally be banned. Yes, you heard me right. Diana Rossini recently reported that there's growing momentum behind a possible rule change. And while it's still early and unclear how serious this move really is, especially since only the Packers have officially proposed it, it seems like the noise around the league is getting louder. Some teams just can't stop him, so now they want him gone. It's a weak move, but hey, the Eagles have been here before. Remember when the league had to adjust the RPO rules just because Jalen Hurts was slashing defenses? This would be the NFL's second round of trying to weaken Philadelphia's advantage. Still, don't expect that to derail the Birds. Hurts converts traditional QB sneaks at a near 80% clip, and Philly has been proactive in making sure this offense doesn't rely on one trick. Even if the league pulls the plug on the brotherly shove, Nick Sirianni and company are already looking at new ways to keep the chains moving. And speaking of Sirianni, his evolution as a head coach has been a storyline in itself. From early doubts to leading this team to a Super Bowl, winning 70% of his games, and showing real growth in taking on more of a CEO role, his future in Philly looks increasingly secure. Don't be shocked if we see an extension announcement soon. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the Eagles continue reshaping the coaching staff. Tyler Yelk, who served as assistant to the head coach last season, is now stepping up as a defensive assistant. A small change on the surface, but in a Vic Fangio-led defense, these moves matter. And when you see players like Cooper DeJean working out in Arizona with Patrick Surtain, you realize this secondary is hungry for more. DeJean already made a name as one of the best slot corners in football, and he's looking to level up. But here's where things really start to heat up. The draft. The Eagles have been aggressive with their top 30 visits, and some of these names are straight up electric. Let's start with Femi Alaja, or as we're all calling him now, Femi. The guy is skyrocketing up draft boards. He's drawn comparisons to Zach Bond, thanks to his transition from off-ball linebacker to edge rusher. At 6 feet 3 inches, 260 pounds, with long arms and raw athleticism, he's exactly the kind of versatile defender Fangio loves. Some mocks have him as a first-rounder, while others see him as a sleeper in day 3. That kind of variance is what makes draft season wild, but if Philly grabs him, he could be a foundational piece moving forward. And then there's Charles Grant. This offensive lineman out of William & Mary has a 7-foot wingspan. That's not a typo. Combine that with clean technique, high-level traits, and a background as a wrestler, and you've got a player tailor-made for Jeff Stoutland's development pipeline. He's already had both a formal interview and a top 30 visit, one of only 2 players with that distinction alongside running back Jaden Blue. That's significant. It shows the Eagles are very serious about him, and his ability to play tackle or potentially slide inside to guard adds even more intrigue.
With Stoutland coaching him up and Lane Johnson still in place as a mentor, this could be another long-term win for the O-line. Donovan Azuraku, another edge target, is generating real buzz too. 16.5 sacks, freakish agility, 6.94 three-cone drill, and a relentless motor. He's a player that screams perfect Fangio fit. The best part? He's from New Jersey, a hometown product who plays with the aggression and smarts this fan base loves. If he's on the board at pick 32, don't be surprised if Howie pulls the trigger. His ability to step in and make an impact right away puts him in a different tier. Now, cornerback is another position getting plenty of attention. Keely Ringo's future is still up in the air, and Philly might be hedging their bets with a top 30 visit from Maxwell Hairston. This Kentucky corner ran a blazing 4.29, had 6 picks, 3 for touchdowns, and isn't afraid to get physical. He brings that same edge that Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell brought as rookies. If you imagine a future with those 3 locking down the secondary, it's not hard to get excited. Christian Parker, the new defensive backs coach, has some serious talent to mold. On the offensive side, the Eagles might have something brewing at running back. Jaden Blue out of Texas is a home run hitter. 4.38 at the combine, 4.28 at his pro day, and dangerous as a receiver, this dude is a weapon. He was buried behind Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Brooks, but still showed flashes of brilliance. He fits the mold of a gadget-type player who can give Saquon Barkley a breather while still threatening to take it to the house every time he touches the ball. With the Eagles hosting him for both a formal interview and top 30 visit, there's serious interest. Imagine defenses trying to prepare for Hurts, Saquon, A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, and now this lightning bolt out of the backfield? It's unfair. And we've got to talk offensive line depth again. Philly has already signed Kendall Lamb and brought back Matt Pryor, solid depth pieces. But it's the versatility in their top 30 visits that stands out. Donovan Jackson from Ohio State and Marcus Ball have both played guard and tackle. That gives the Eagles flexibility, especially if they're looking to add someone who can compete with Tyler Steen or even develop into Lane Johnson's eventual replacement. Philly's been hammering the trenches with their visits, 6 offensive linemen among their first 12 top 30s. That says a lot. But this draft isn't just about filling needs, it's about building flexibility. And it's clear that Howie and the front office are focused on keeping this roster both elite and injury-proof. Whether it's prepping for a potential tush-push ban or grooming the next generation of stars, the Eagles aren't leaving anything to chance. And when you think about guys like Walter Nolan or J.J. Piguet, players with absurd upside and unique skill sets, you start to realize just how many directions this draft could go. Now it's your turn. What do you make of the potential tush-push ban? Are you buying the hype on Femi, Charles Grant, or Jaden Blue? And how would you feel about drafting a CB like Maxwell Hairston to challenge Ringo? Let me know in the comments, because the draft strategy we're seeing unfold here isn't just about 2024, it's about the next 5 years. The Eagles are making clear moves that scream long-term vision, and it's happening on both sides of the ball. Let's go back to J.J. Piguet for a second. This is a 320-pound defensive tackle who's been labeled an offensive weapon during workouts. Yeah, he's that rare. He's played Wildcat quarterback, scored 7 rushing touchdowns, and even ran routes at the combine when teams asked him to work out as a tight end or fullback. That's a level of versatility you just don't find. Think about it. If the tush-push gets banned, what better way to respond than to line up Piguet in the backfield and let him bulldoze his way for short yardage gains? It's the ultimate we'll just find another way move, and it fits Philly's mentality perfectly. But don't get it twisted, Piguet isn't just a gadget guy. He's a legitimate defensive tackle with starter potential. He's projected as an early day 3 pick, but don't be surprised if his name gets called late on day 2. Then there's Walter Nolan, another beast on the D-line who's drawing early round buzz. Some mocks have him going top 15, others have him sliding to the Eagles at 32. If he's there, that's a no-brainer pick. You pair him with Jalen Carter, and now you've got one of the nastiest young interior lines in the league. Philly loves high-upside guys with 5-star backgrounds, and Nolan fits the bill. As we wrap this up, let's circle back to the big question looming over the league, the fate of the brotherly shove. If it does get banned, you can bet Philly won't be caught off guard. They're already scouting creative alternatives. Whether it's using Piguet as a wrecking ball, leveraging Harrison Bryant's gadget play abilities, or just letting Hurts go old school under center, this team is ready. And if the league is really serious about banning plays just because they're effective, well, maybe it's time to start outlawing Mahomes' sidearm throws or Josh Allen scrambles too. It's a slippery slope, and one that reeks of desperation from teams that simply can't compete. But enough from me. What do you think? Should the Eagles go all in on someone like Walter Nolan or Donovan Azuraku at pick 32? Do you want to see Jaden Blue and Midnight Green taking screens to the house? And how do you feel about this tush-push controversy? Drop your thoughts below. Let's hear it, Birds fans.